Morning everybody, today's the day, it's the 30th. Let me add a load of people. We've got supporters here, we've got supporters on their way, and most importantly we've got Megaphone Man. I need you guys to share this like you've never shared before. Right? We need to go for this and we need to go for it good. Okay? Now add a load more people. Hang on! Jack is chomping, absolutely chomping at the bit to get on. There he is, the man of the moment.
Hashtag scousemegaphoneman, the children's rights campaigner of the UK, the best children's rights campaigner in the UK, the children's revolution. This is the reset button. The High Court, the Royal Court, to expose hypocrisy, molestation process, and prove that I am a sovereign man, the living man. I was brainwashed by my parents. I was called Jack. I was given a birth certificate because my mum done a deal with the government. And I'm turned the corner in my life and I realised that I'm not going to sit and be brainwashed no more. I believe in fair process. I believe in what this country was built on and based on, which is the rule of law. I am going to expose the judiciary as hypocrites, and I am going to expose Parliament and local council who abuse and molest our acts and statutes of Parliament, at the same time grassroots families up and down my country. Today I am reaching from the thunder beneath the throne as a children's rights campaigner to get children's rights inscribed in law and bring social care in parallel line with the United Nations Convention, the Rights of a Child, also the Human Rights Act, Article 8. Now I'm using my British Bill of Rights, Article 9, freedom of speech. The pen is mightier than the sword. Let's see how it goes, guys. Share like mad.
Otherwise, share this. No, you're not block sleeping all right, I can still see you. I really could get blocked in my chats of idiots to talk about.
Do you want to chewing gum?
No, I'll bite your tongue.
Right, you know what to do.
How do I feel?
With
That's
your
what I said
hands.
last night. Shitting yourself. But at the end of the day, if you don't chase a dream, you won't live it. So this is about speaking for every single family up and down this country. This is about getting men their rights. All them men that have got children, right? We haven't got a men and equalities minister in Parliament. Men lose their rights when they have a child. When they go into court and they get what is known as contact orders, they are false promises. Hear the hypocrisy. If you don't pay your maintenance, it's a criminal offence. If your contact's not upheld, the order made by the court, then that is classed as a civil matter. You can't have it both ways.
Yep.
Whoever fails the contact, they should be the one who's the walking wallet. Why is it always the man who has to have and find that magic money tree? This is the revolution, guys, children's rights.
It costs absolutely nothing to share. Just give me 2 seconds to add some, and then I'll be with you.
We've got a couple of people come down from Liverpool. They're a bit emotional, and I can fully understand that. I've been through this forced adoption process. You know, you can't set compulsion on a family. You know, the state put people into trauma and then say to them while they're under that trauma, you're in a legal battle. At the same time, we want to assess you while you're under that trauma, wasting thousands of pounds of taxpayers' money on assessments not carried out and are not independent from local council. So this is molestation process massively annexed in statutes of Parliament. You can't put parents into trauma, tell them they're in a legal battle and then assess them, put them in vulnerable places to be assessed. You put a child around a load of people with learning difficulties and personality disorders, you're setting yourself to fail. This is going against the rule of law on future risk of harm, case of a probabilities. You can't have councils going into the grassroots families up and down this country, my country, practicing this hypocrisy. All these councils meet threshold of failing children to the point where they're dying. I have to spark off serious case reviews for children's deaths, you know, and under Thurrock Council, the Katie Eden case. Now this has got misfeasance and malfeasance right through it. All these investigations in these councils under social care, all these professionals avoiding investigating officers like the child grooming gangs, these are countless counts of misfeasance. The J report at Rotherham, they're around 27 professionals refusing to speak to the investigating officer in the child grooming gang inquiry. They're counts of misfeasance in social care. The lady then goes on to do the Telford inquiry. We call them chupper-lolly suckers. People that suck the lollipop at the establishment. Well, children's rights don't. This is the revolution.
Right, get that megaphone out.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, get fired up.
Come on.
Go on.
Come on, people, you know what to do, you just got to share it. It costs you absolutely nothing to press that share button. And if they block you from sharing, from putting it in all the groups, so be it. Get it in all the groups. They don't want it, they're lost. But at least you've tried. You can't be here in spirit. Be here by sharing it everywhere. Add as many people as you can. Do what you can.
Why are we doing it over the road?
Yep. You know what it's about, people. You know what he's doing. You know who he is, what he stands for and why he does it. Find me a better reason and find me a better person, because I can't see it. There we go. It's going to be put to the
They know
rule.
we're here. When anyone asks us to leave, we'll leave.
We've been given full permission of Westminster Police and the court to be here.
We're going to hopefully go on for an hour, have 15 minutes. We're going to talk about forced adoption, local council, and then I'm going to have 15 minutes, go back on the megaphone and talk about hypocrisy, molestation, and call the halt to all civil court cases in the UK until these local authorities have had pre-service assessments like they're doing to all the grassroots families through a forced adoption. So this is about draining the swamp in these councils and building on the good professionals. We want to try and incorporate pre-service assessments into council, along with many revolutionary ideas to combat social care, coming up with rolling fund ideas to build on the good, regularly assessing kids in the care system. So let's see how it pans out today. How you doing, Jay? Cheers, Mama. Every time he's here.
Babe, do me a favour. Stand there a minute.
Oh, let's have one of that.
Yes, mate. There he is.
Right there.
Stay there. Mind your way now.
Go on, do you?
You know what this is about, people. Come on.
Scouse megaphone now. Finish the chats if you want to go.
The one and only. Come on.
Right, let's do this.
Go for it, come on.
For those of you that have seen it before, you know what's about to come. For those of you who haven't seen it before, sit back and watch and enjoy the show.
How far's Jem?
Not far, as I'm aware. She is on her way, bless her. She's like practically running.
Cheers with spark. Thank you very much.
It's important that we share the life out of this. This isn't about Scouse Megaphone Man. This is about social care to benefit everybody up and down this country. I'm a patriotic lion.
Share it to all the groups. Come on.
I can't get bloody Facebook.
Nobody shut the gates for us.
That was nice of them.
Why is it going like that? Is that no?
I am now #ScouseMegaphoneman, the best children's rights campaigner in the UK. I am here today to exercise my
my democratic right to freedom of speech as a living man. I, as a children's rights campaigner, I am sovereign. I am here to expose forced adoption and the judiciary system. Social care molests the acts and statutes of our parliament, and the judiciary practice hypocrisy. Councils up and down this country put parents into trauma by removing their children, which is known as forced adoption. When social workers remove children on future risk of harm, the rule of law, case of a probability, they take children and not one impact statement is done for the separation of the child from the family. When the children are taken, it's known as forced adoption. Social workers are putting parents into trauma. That's right, compulsion by the state. Then they say to the parents, we want to assess you while you're under trauma. At the same time, they're in a legal battle. This is molestation, not only to the grassroots families up and down this country, but to the acts and statutes of our parliament, going against codes of practice and clarification for the acts of parliament. I, scousemegaphoneman, can prove crimes against humanity by Thurrock Council. That's right, crimes against humanity, the breaking and offering of devolution to unlawfully take a child. The civil courts told Thurrock Borough Council, you don't meet threshold to remove somebody's child. So Thurrock Council broke data protection to break and offer devolution to get the court date to remove my child on future risk of harm. I thought this country was built and based on the rule of law. I thought that government and local council could not overrule the jurisdiction of the court. Why is that allowed to happen in local council? Assessing people under trauma at the same time they're in a legal battle while under compulsion. This isn't future risk of harm, case of a probability. This is molestation process. These councils up and down this country, they've more than meet threshold in the family court. I have a very lengthy threshold document on a local council naming Thurrock Council on the failings of children to the point where they're dying. And I have to spark off a serious case review to get these children justice. Future risk of harm and the councils meet threshold. How about that? Civil courts up and down this country are granted in civil court cases these failing councils PR. Parents are put before the civil courts, which is known as forced adoption. These councils that more than meet threshold, and my lengthy threshold document on Thurrock Council, I tried to get a court date for immediate risk and future risk of harm. I was told by 2 civil courts that I could not have an emergency court date for an interim care order for all the looked after children of the UK. Councils go in and out of these family courts who make threshold themselves, failing all the children, failing all the old people. These councils go into the family court and the judges are making decisions on molestation process. and taking the children from the grassroots families and placing them at immediate risk into local councils up and down this country that more than meet threshold in failings of children.
Come on guys, get it shared.
This is massive hypocrisy by the judiciary. Why is it that a children's rights campaigner with a serious threshold document of serious widespread systematic failings of children to the point where they're dying, and I can't, on the rule of law, get an emergency interim care order on a local failing council?
Go on.
Why is that? I thought that this country was built and based on the rule of law. I thought this country, Parliament, could not overrule the jurisdiction of the court. Absolute outrageous. How many people over the years have been through this molestation process and lost their children to adoption? What is the government and the judiciary going to do about their system? I can prove overwhelmingly that Parliament is not sovereign in so many ways. We've had Justice Secretary after Justice Secretary swear allegiances to the heirs of the thrones of this country to uphold the rule of law. Many, many times I've been outside the judiciary building to hold the judiciary to account. Lord Beecham and Lord Folk stated in the Lords, if you don't act, it's seen as a criminal offence in social care. Why is it that this country, for years and years, has been taking children, putting them into adoption on a molestation process, and it still goes on today?
Go on.
The amount of parents up and down this country who are screaming to be heard and are too scared to join me here today, because what these civil courts do is get a gagging order on you so you can't speak. Men up and down this country are seen as walking wallets to the government and ants to the Queen.
Yep.
When men have children, they lose their rights. They go into these civil courts and they get what is known as a contact order, which is known as false promises. When the order's not upheld, the man suffers. When the contacts fail and the court order's not being failed, men are seen as a walking wallet to pay to see their children. Why is it if you don't pay your maintenance, it's seen as a criminal offence, but if contact is seen as a civil matter? You can't have it both ways.
Yep.
Why, in this country, have we not got a men and equalities minister? Why haven't we got that in this country for men to be able to go and speak to a member of Parliament? Me, Scouse Megaphone Man, as a living man, a sovereign living man, can prove that these civil courts are practicing hypocrisy and calling social care, placing children into the care of these failing councils who more than meet threshold. I can actually prove that local council broke and offered devolution to unlawfully take a child, ignoring the children's protector, which is the police. I am hoping to hold the judiciary and government to account.
Woo!
Hashtag Scouse Megaphone Man.
Go on, babe.
Children's rights campaigner in the UK. Why is it when we have complaints processes in local council on social care, serious systematic failings, when these investigating officers carry out these complaints in these complaints processes, they're met with professional avoidance? That's right, professionals of future risk of harm. avoiding investigating officers in complaints processes of serious failings of children. These are seen as criminal offences known as misfeasance in office. Misfeasance in office is a very serious offence. In the J report at Rotherham, there are around 27 professionals refused to meet the investigating officer in the child grooming gangs at Rotherham. There are countless counts of misfeasance in office. Where's the accountability? Who is watching the watchmen in these local councils who are all riddled in debt and they all meet threshold? Yet these civil courts, the royal courts of justice at the helm, putting children at immediate risk, knowing these councils more than meet threshold in their own family courts. How about that for hypocrisy and molestation? Hashtag scousemegaphoneman. Just because it's gone quiet, it doesn't mean to say I've gone away. Hashtag scousemegaphoneman. What it is, guys, this is about holding the establishment to account. This is about holding the judiciary to account. I always believe that Ulster protected these judges in clause 3. They're not fazed by ministers, you know. This country was built and based on the rule of law. Let's see it. Because at the minute we're seeing hypocrisy, wasted millions of pounds of taxpayers' money, a service that can't relate. This isn't right, guys, right? We all need to stand up because children's rights, like it or not, it is the reset button. Because I've got many revolutionary aspirational ideas to combat social care so we can all feel the benefit on fair process.
Go, babe. Go on then.
We're bigging you up in the chat, mate. I'm not saying that.
You're right, my love.
Guys, this is about children's rights.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my god.
Get the sign over there.
Where is it?
Go on, you're right, I won't get you.
The whole government to account. You've got Angela Rayner, real social care out in 20 days. You don't understand social care because you're talking pie in the sky. 2 years minimum for social care. Let's do it.
Well done. Well done.
Go, babe.
Oh my god, this is so proud.
You already know what it is, people. Come on. He's standing out. So we told the court we were coming today. Why is it shut the front entrance? Because it's giving children's rights enough respect to have a full walkway up and down this street here. You want to shout for children's rights? We'll shut the front entrance and you crack on, mate. You want to bring people here? We'll bring people here. We'll shut it so you can all walk along. Right? This court doesn't seem to be going against us. It seems to be working fully with us. Right? We're out here doing this not for our children, not for the person who messaged us last night and said, can you help? Not for that, for every child. Right? If you can't make it, if you can't make it, we appreciate that and we understand that. But what my point is, if you're sitting indoors and you're watching it and you've got your cup of tea, push the share button and get it out there. If you're part of any groups on Facebook, put them in there. If it's a buying and selling group, someone somewhere in that group might be interested. There are people up and down this country that don't know this goes on. They still think that social workers, every social worker is out to help. Not every social worker is. But in the same respect, not every social worker is dodgy. Not every judge is out to help you. Not every judge is out to stitch you up. Just see what I'm saying? Not every solicitor works in the pocket of social care, but not every one of them works to the rule of their law books at all. So if you're sitting indoors doing that, apart from watching us, we're grateful. Share it. Tag as many people as you can get into it. If they don't want to be part of it, they don't want to be part of it. But you've tried. If no one tries, no one gets heard. If no one gets heard, who's going to shout for these kids? Who's going to help them? They'll go to adoption. They won't know who their parents are. They won't know who they are. They'll grow up with identity issues because they don't know who the hell they are. You know, if you help these kids, some kids need to be taken, but some kids are stolen.
Yeah, I do. I love it. Oh, you must be so
Babe, do they want to put their sign in it?
I've just had a photo of it.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got a family that's turned up. This sign will mean a lot to Jack because Liverpool City Council have got a lot to answer to for him and all.
am a loud and proud Scouser. I'm resilient. I've got the likeable factor. It's up and down this country, guys.
Honey, do me a favour. Stand underneath that sign with that.
Over the side.
For a kid that was left on file. Liverpool City Council, mate, you've got a lot to answer to and on.
That's probably most councils.
Exactly. The Joker mask says it all. Liverpool City Council being a joke, mate. Yeah.
All your life forever. It's like full corruption.
One of these.
All over, everywhere. Not just the UK either. This happens all over the world.
Oh, good. Like how once Oh, he won't stop? No, he won't stop.
About my mind's gone a little bit blank.
Thurrock Council accounts.
Yeah.
Hashtag Scouse Megaphone Man, the best children's rights campaigner in the UK, here today to hold the judiciary to account, practicing hypocrisy. All the councils up and down this country that meet threshold of failing children, and the civil courts in this country are taking children off the families and putting them into the failing councils who more than meet threshold. This is hypocrisy. This is absolute hypocrisy. Going through a molestation process known as social care, future risk of harm. Molestation process, putting parents into trauma, putting them into centres full of vulnerable people, people with learning difficulties, people with personality disorders and anger problems, putting these kind of people together, and children in that environment. It's going against the rule of law, future risk of harm. It's molestation, putting children at immediate risk to assess parents while under trauma set upon them by the state. This is molestation. While these parents are going through this process, they're in a legal battle with the local council. This is abusing our Mental Health Capacity Act and other acts and statutes of our Parliament. It's going against codes of practice of Acts of Parliament and actually going against the clarification for the codes of practice of the Acts and Statutes of Parliament. And this is the rule of law. Turning a blind eye to failing councils.
Yep.
They won't give a children's rights campaigner with a threshold document as long as your arm of failings. Widespread, systematic failings on a threshold document. And the rule of law, the civil rule of law, will not give me a court date for serious safeguarding concerns and failings of children. Children that are at immediate risk of harm. And the civil courts won't uphold the rule of law on these local councils and continue to practice their hypocrisy, placing children from families up and down this country into immediate risk, into councils failing, widespread failing. Whenever there's an investigation in these failings, countless counts of misfeasance. Get your phones out. Check out Katie Egan, a child in Thurrock, passed away. Some months later, I, the children's rights campaigner, spark off a serious case review on freedom of speech. Absolute unbelievable. And when the serious case review comes back on this little child, dossier have been siphoned by half and put through a council chamber meeting with not enough prior notice, going against protocol within Thurrock Council. The chief executive of this council is paid nearly 3 times more than the Prime Minister to run a failing council riddled in debt, who meets threshold themselves, practising hypocrisy against the grassroots families up and down this country. Absolute outrageous. When is this Parliament going to stand up and be counted on a professional capacity to run this country? How many times is the working class person going to pay for the failing social care? Rising national insurance, rising your council tax, you're all seen as walking wallets. All the old people selling all their assets. What happened to the triple lock in this country? Huh? Absolute unbelievable. How many people we've lost during these corona times because social care want to avoid that fine in the NHS, the bed blocking and late discharges and transfers, putting parents, grandparents at immediate risk, not making the relative checks, taking them out of the hospitals to avoid the fine from Simon Stevens. Absolute unbelievable. You know, how many old people in these old people's homes we've lost because of their systematic failings. Absolute outrageous. Why is it that Parliament buries its head in the sand? Why is that on social care? Where's Keir Starmer in all this?
Yes,
on his
babe.
manifest, he said to the British nation he would hold government to account. This is a crime against humanity, exposing the judiciary and social care, a molestation process and hypocrisy. Where's Keir Starmer?
Go,
I
babe.
can prove that Parliament is not sovereign. The civil court is not the rule of law. Future risk of harm, case of probabilities. Absolute outrageous how the rule of law can put children in this country into failing councils up and down this country. Whenever you want to scrutinise or hold these councils to account, you're dealing with the human shields of the councils. That's right, human shields, known as the councillors. These are the work engine who answers and deals with scrutiny. How can I complain to them about them and expect them to deal with it and I get a fair outcome? Absolute outrageous. If you're not happy, you can always go on to the Ombudsman. This process is a process of passing the buck of blame.
Yep.
Working alongside professional avoidance. Absolute outrageous. As a children's rights campaigner of the UK, the best in this country, I am calling for all civil court cases in the family courts to be on hold until these councils up and down this country have had pre-service assessments on social care.
Yes.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And this civil court is practising today hypocrisy.
Yep.
Absolute outrageous. All the countries on this planet looking on London today. Children's rights should be inscribed in law. That's right. We've got a United Nations Convention, the rights of a child. There's 42 articles to that convention, and I can prove that Thurrock Council, who committed a crime against humanity, unlawfully stealing a child. Absolute outrageous how these councils get away with doing what they're doing. When is Parliament going to take its head out of the sand and sort out social care?
Yep.
Angela Rayner said she could sort out social care in 20 days. If you speak like this on social care, it really does mean that you have not got an insight into social care. Pie in the sky, pulling the wool over the eyes of the people. Absolute outrageous. All councils should be assessed before they reopen. That's right. Pre-service assessments, keeping the money within the service. Regularly assess the kids in the care system to stop them being failed. I am a failed looked after child in the care system. I've served all the institutions social services have had. I've been to young offenders institution. I've turned the corner in my life, and I am not going to stand by and let my country go down the pan.
Go,
I
babe!
believe on building a foundation on the Children's Protector and combating social care with pre-service assessments in local council. At the same time, regularly assess the kids in the care system to build on the good and drain the swamp of the bad in these local councils. Extravagant wages. Here's your 25%. We'll have a pre-service assessment, and if it comes good, you can have the rest of your extravagant wages.
Yep.
This will keep service professional and stop wasting taxpayers' money running a gravy train for your friends. When assessments are carried out in this country, they're not independent from local councils or government. I want to start an assessment unit and contact centre to keep money within the service. Boomerang will carry out pre-service assessments on professionals, judicial reviews, serious case reviews, mental health assessments, the list goes on. All that money could be obtained for the kids in the care system, reaching out to community children in terms of impact centres with police, community support, social workers within them impact centres, working with people coming out of jail on reunification programmes and recognition programmes to reboot their lives and start again. I believe in our councils being run by people like me and people like you, people that can relate, people that do it from the heart and not extravagant wages. I believe in this country, if we build on the Children's Protector, which is the police, and combat social care in this country, stop these councils driving their austerity and treating us like walking wallets. Absolute unbelievable. How many people are going to work today paying for the failing social care?
Yep.
That's right. Put money in a bag called social care and it's got great big holes in it. Absolute unbelievable. And when you hear people like Boris Johnson, that's right, the Prime Minister, billions of pounds to the NHS. What about all these old people's homes? Huh? What about all these old people's homes? They're not going to get a look in on the money that's been given by Boris to the NHS. What did the government do? Pull up smoke screens. Fuel, not enough HGV drivers, Corona, etc. Councils are closed. That's because of the hard work of the backbone and the children's rights campaigner known as scousemegaphoneman.
Yes.
Absolute outrageous. Today, as a children's rights campaigner, speaking on freedom of speech, I am reaching from the thunder beneath the throne to make sure that children's rights and social care can relax.
Yep.
Absolute outrageous, extravagant wages, all the councils are closed. That's your civil right. Your civil right is to be able to talk to someone from Parliament. I've had my rights taken away I can't speak to my MP. I'm prevented from the courts. I can't go into the local council because the council's closed. Therefore, my rights as a British citizen have been stripped by the judiciary. Absolute outrageous. I thought this country was built and based on the rule of law. I have been brainwashed for years because my mum labelled me as Jack, and I used that to get to the top. Jack in the Beanstalk, social care. I was given a birth certificate by my mum and a number by my mum. I'm not here to be brainwashed anymore. I am #scousemegaphoneman, the children's rights campaigner in the UK. I am sovereign. Parliament is not sovereign. Parliament molests its own acts and statutes of its own parliament and calls it social care, future risk of harm. The civil courts, they practice hypocrisy. Take children on future risk, case of probabilities, that's right, and put the children at immediate risk into failing councils. And these judges, they've taken their eye off the ball game.
Yep.
I'm calling for all civil court cases to be halted until these local authorities up and down this country have had pre-service assessments. That's right, to train the swamp and off the bad and build on the good. Absolute outrageous. Hypocrisy, molestation, everybody's going to work, paying for the failing service, paying for the failing hypocrisy. It's absolute, you couldn't write this, could you? Huh? A crime against humanity. To unlawfully take a child, forced adoption, is a crime against humanity. It's unbelievable. Molestation process and hypocrisy outcome. How about that? Huh? What does the Queen think of all this? Huh? The monarchy?
Go on, babe.
Huh? Absolutely unbelievable. Children's rights shall be in parallel line with the United Nations Convention, the rights of a child. Social care is not in line with the United Nations Convention, the rights of a child. And guess what? This country wrote that convention, 42 article convention, and their social care is not in line with it. Absolute unbelievable. Are we going to see Article 9 taken out of the British Bill in the coming months? Huh? Freedom to protest. Article 9, freedom of speech. Huh? I was hauled before the courts on terminology in this country. To criticise somebody harshly, leaving them scald, is the phrase ripping someone a new one. I was hauled before the courts on this terminology. Absolute unbelievable. Unbelievable.
On a magnified sense of self-importance.
Campaigner who can prove that these councils meet threshold on the rule of law, and they're still today practicing future risk of harm. I'm calling for all civil court cases in this country to be put on hold until these local councils have had pre-service assessments to stop the molestation process and the failings, widespread failings of the kids in the care system. The kids in the care system, serious mental health problems, criminal convictions as long as they're old, self-harming, abusing drugs, abusing alcohol. These children have been taken on future risk of harm. Contact sessions regularly being failed. These children screaming to be heard. they want to see their dads, they want to see their mums. When men have children in this country, they lose their civil rights. They're seen as walking wallets. Dry your mouth, mate, carry on.
Yep.
Absolute outrageous. Why, in this country, have we not got a Men and Equalities Minister in Parliament for men to have their rights? Why is it that it's seen as a civil matter when men have got contact orders to see their children? Breaking an order made by the court, it's not a civil matter.
Go on, babe.
Absolute outrageous. If the man doesn't pay his maintenance, he's to go to jail. Absolute hypocrisy. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. The men in this country, the proud lions in this country, dry their mouth, pick themselves up and carry on going to work, knowing they're still paying for a failing service. I take the hat off to every man in this country.
Go on,
The
babe, tell
media
them.
in this country trying to whip up a frenzy and a storm for women to hate on men.
Yep.
Absolute outrageous how somebody can be murdered in this country and it's twisted by the media to hate on men. Absolute unbelievable. I am about comfortability. If we combat social care in this country with revolutionary aspirational ideas for social care, with rolling fund ideas to keep money within the service, we will all feel the ease, even the people that are working. I am about revolutionising service, creating comfortability, and to combat professional avoidance, draining swamps of these councils of bad practice and building on the good. It's so important for us as the people to incorporate pre-service assessments in local council to drain the swamp at the back and build on the good. Children's rights is the reset button, combating social care for this country. I am sovereign. I've been here today to expose the judiciary practice, the social care practice, the hypocrisy in council, and the burying their heads in the sand of Parliament. Justice Secretary after Justice Secretary have sworn allegiances to the heirs and the thrones of this country to uphold the rule of law. Elizabeth Truss, David Lidington, Mr. Quark, the Right Honourable Robert Buckland, etc. They all know about children's rights. They've all buried their head in the sand and they've all took a blind eye to scousemegaphoneman and the exposing of the system in the UK for the better in the future. Why is it that you can swear allegiances to the heirs of the throne to this country and not uphold the rule of law in serious failings of children within these local councils? I thought that Parliament could not overrule the jurisdiction of the court. I can prove that this is not true. I can prove that Thurrock Council, through one of their councillors, broke and offered devolution to unlawfully take a child, ignoring the police to do so. The police are the only people in this country who I hold as a professional service.
Yes.
The only people that have left children's rights be to campaign and combat social care.
Yep.
I believe if we combat social care and build on the foundation of the Children's Protector, the police, we will all feel the ease in this country. If I ever get to the top, or when I get to the top as a sovereign man, anybody that damages my flag or my poppy will be held in the Tower of London to pay for social care.
Yes, babe.
I will show respect to every single veteran in my country. In all the injustices in the UK, the veterans come first. Because let me tell you, people, you wouldn't have the life you've got today
Yes.
if it wasn't for the veterans. You would not see people swinging from the Union Jack on the Senator. People like this should be held in the Tower of London, and the tourists should be paying to come and see them, to pay for social care.
Yep.
To disrespect the veterans of this country, you got no right. Today, the Children's Rights Campaigner is doing what the veterans did back in the day. Put the loaf on top of the bailey and wave it above the trench to see if there's enemy fire. It's called the phrase, using your loaf. Children's rights is going to rise in this country for the people to feel the ease and enjoy life as we have it. Hashtag scousemegaphoneman, the Children's Rights Campaigner of the UK. It's about time that we put halt to all civil court cases, family civil court cases, until councils have had pre-service assessments on service to drain the swamp of the bad and build on the good. That will prevent them from practicing hypocrisy. Just because I've gone quiet, it doesn't mean to say I've gone away. Hashtag scousemegaphoneman.
Share the life out of this, guys. This is so important to our country. This is not about scouts. This is not about money. This is about doing what's right for the future generations, embracing humanity. Anti-disestablishmentarianism is so important for the protection of religious liberty. It's a multicultural society, guys.
Share this, guys. Get us out for social media.
I think people are sharing it. I think it's been shared. Your lips are wet now.
What was that in just now? Is that in my... Because I've shared it in my group so as it can get shared everywhere.
This is alright.
There's a lot of people that should be here though.
Scousemegaphoneman. The rule of law.
My tongue.
Yeah.
That's right, rule of law. Future risk of harm. When paedophiles get released from jail, they're put into bail hostels through MAPA. That's right, MAPA.
Yeah.
Paedophiles and child killers in this country should be sent off to the NHS labs to cure children's diseases
Yes.
and stop animal testing in this country.
Yes.
I pedalled from Liverpool to London and I met 5 people out of over 1,000 who disagree with this process. The judiciary puts the grassroots families, children at immediate risk of harm, rehoming paedophiles and child sex killers back into our community on a new identity in secret locations living amongst us.
Where they're not
That is
wanted.
going against the rule of law on future risk of harm, case of a probability. How is that? You've got estate agents in this country, letting agents in this country, putting paedophiles into our grassroots family estates at immediate risk and not making the relative checks on the Sarah's law.
Yes.
Absolute unbelievable. Everywhere you go in this country, they're failing all the children.
Yep.
Is there any wonder why there's holes in the social care bag? Is there any wonder why the police are overstretched in this country on no extra budget? Absolute unbelievable. Why, in this country, are paedophiles and child sex killers rehome back in our communities, putting our children at future risk of harm? Protected on no extra resource of money
Yep.
for the children's protector, the police. I believe that this country should work from the foundation of the children's protector and combat social care. Prisoners coming out of the prison system, the revolving door prisoners. That's right, the service is not equipped. It's not equipped. No recognition programs in jail. They're on around £40,000 a year to keep that. No recognition programs. Absolute unbelievable. We need assessment units. We need impact centres to work with prisoners released from jail, to put them onto reunification programs, to back them to their families in the right way. Absolute unbelievable. We've got services up and down this country run by people that can't relate on extravagant wages and serious failings, professional avoidance. Is there any wonder why the taxpayer is sick and tired of paying tax? Where's the BBC in all this? The propaganda wheel of the Tories. Ever since the Levison inquiry, the Tories said we're going to clean up media.
Yes.
What have we seen over the last 4 years? Mentally abusing us. Brexit, Corona, fuel, old people's homes. How many smoke screens are they going to pull up in front of children's rights?
Yep.
How many? The Children's Rights Campaigner of the UK is sovereign. I'm here today to prove they ain't sovereign. Their service is not what it says on the tin. It does not, so shall serve.
Yep.
Hashtag scousemegaphoneman and his revolutionary ideas for social care. Everybody in this country will feel the ease and will not mind paying that extra tax. To listen to Angela Rayner say she can combat social care in 20 days. She's got no insight into social care because this is pie in the sky speech. Absolute unbelievable how the media can sit back and let this happen in our society today, knowing that this country was built and based on the rule of law. Absolute unbelievable. Radio stations, no different from the media, the TV stations, absolute outrageous. When it comes to accountability, professional avoidance.
Yep.
Right the way through. Look at Grenfell Tower. Millions of pounds. The cost on scaffolding. Cover it up before the people's eyes. Corporate manslaughter. Salami slicing on the cost
Yep.
of panelling. Absolute unbelievable. Unbelievable. When are the MPs in this country going to mean what they say when they swear allegiances to the Parliamentary Oath Act to be a politician?
Yep.
I believe in the judges in this country. I believe in the rule of law. I believe in fair process. I don't believe in hypocrisy from the judiciary, and I don't mean molestation from foreign council and other councils up and down this country.
Go on, babe.
Molestation process. Pulling parents into trauma. They're in a legal
Hey!
at the same time they're being assessed on forced adoption. All civil cases in the family courts should be put on hold until these councils have had pre-service assessments to drain the swamp in the bad and build on the good, and stop practicing their hypocrisy and molestation process, failing all the children, failing all the old people. Absolute unbelievable. To open assessment units in this country, to hold local councils to account on serious failings is well spent money, keeping the money within the service for the kids in the care system. So when BCLG fund the council, that'll put an ease on the old people's homes. Social care in this country, when have we ever seen any solutions on the social care before the white paper is delivered by these politicians? We ain't, have we?
No.
We've never seen it. We've never seen solutions on social care. All pie in the sky. Scouts megaphone man, expertise, social care. The best in this country. Without a shadow of a doubt. I not only beat local council, thorough council in the civil courts and their social workers, I actually wiped the floor with their legal team, not once, twice. I can prove, and will go on to prove, that Parliament is not sovereign. I am the living man, Scouse Megaphone Man, the children's rights campaigner of the UK. I am reaching from the thunder beneath the throne, because I am a patriotic man, and I've got belief in every man, in every woman in this country, showing respect to my veterans, who's prevented me and every single one of you walking about today from speaking German. Hashtag Scouse Megaphone Man, the children's rights campaigner of the UK.
Have a good one, boys. Scaffolders.
You're doing well, my darling.
My throat's going a little bit. I've got a lot in. How long have I been going?
An hour.
An hour? I've hammered it for an hour. So yeah, I've got a lot in there, haven't I? Yeah. In an hour. So what I'm going to do now is just going to have a little bite to eat, let my throat calm down a bit, have a little drink, and then I'll get back on it and just repeat. Because at the end of the day, if I repeat it in different ways, hopefully it'll drill it in. Because that's what it is, drilling, dry, deep and hard.
You know what I'm going to say, people? Are you loving it? Are you loving it as much as we're loving it? Because I am. I think what he's done today is brilliant so far. And I'm sorry, we told the courts we were coming, we told the police we were coming, and they said the only thing we don't want you doing is blocking the gates. And the court was then informed that we were coming, so the court took it upon themselves to close the front entrance, so we had the entire walkway bit. Come on, if everyone wakes up, if everybody opens their eyes, they can't do it. They're doing it because it's hidden in plain sight, because if it scares people, they don't want to look. What do you do in a horror film when you don't want to see something? Because it's a bit scary, you shut your eyes.
Oh, sorry, Jen. Shall I tell her now? I know it's late. You'll be here in 10 minutes. Sorry, I
You know?
That's why I thought
If we keep closing our eyes to things we don't like, they are forever. Look at the size of this building. Look at it.
I went on the live.
And he's taking it to him, mate. He's taking it to him right now.
It's massive inside. I've been there. I went there for my deal.
The more we open our eyes, the more we see, the more we look, the more we say we're not standing for any more of this, the more they can't do it. And if we get off of our backsides and we stop sitting on our hands and thinking it's okay, someone else will do it for me, if we all come together and we all do it together and we all stand up and say we're not taking it no more, they can't keep doing it. There's no good sitting at home saying this isn't right. We need to do something about it. You know? This is the royal courts of justice. Can you get any bigger, really? The royal courts. Why, if everything's that's being done in social care is being done legal and above board, why is it so secret? Why is it so secret? Why is no one allowed to talk about what goes on? You know? Why are we gagged when we go through the family court system? What don't they want us telling people? What don't they want us showing people? Why don't they want people to see and hear what's going on? Because not all of what's going on, not all of what's being done is legal and above board. A lot of this, a lot is lies. A lot of it is untruths, exaggerated facts, whatever you want to call it. And it should not be happening. Look, no reason as to why the entrance is closed on the 30th of September. Why? Because they knew. Because they knew, and they know what's happening. Do you know what I mean? You can't run from the truth. You can't hide from the truth. The truth will always out. Always. Facebook are telling us that there's over nearly 300 shares, and they're telling us there's only a few people watching. I know they're lying because of the amount of people that are messaging. The police, we can't say anything nicer about the police. They've been fine. They was happy for us to be here. They've not given us a bugger off time. They've not told us you've got to go away at this time. They're happy as Larry. Happy as Larry with us. You know? We all have our own reason for fighting, whether it's our children, a friend's children, a relative's children, or just because we're human beings. But we all need to get up and we all need to do it. And you know what Jack's like. He won't take this lying down. He told the social workers in our case, you turn the first page before you even think of getting involved with me. And they said, oh, we've looked into you, Mr. Barnes, we know all about you. Clearly you didn't. We've got more stuff lined up, of course we have. You don't think we'd just do one protest and that'd be it, do you? Of course not. Jack's just having something to eat and easing his throat for a second, and then he's going back on it. Anyone else wants to jump on the megaphone, they're more than welcome to. We've got a few people here. But gone are the times where we can just sit there and say, oh, this is it, and you know, someone else will do it for us and we can do all... We can't. Nobody is going to get up. Nobody comes to your house and feeds you your dinner. Nobody comes to your house and wipes your backside for you. So nobody is going to fight your cause for you the way that you want them to. You need to do it because you need to be the passion that's shown through for your child. You need to be the voice for your child. That child is you. You are that child. They came from your body. Don't sit back and expect someone else to do it. You can't. No one gave birth to that child for you. So you be the voice for the child. And I understand some people couldn't make it today, and I get that, and so does Jack. But it needs to be pushed as far as possible. The other gate's just there. The other gate to get in there is just down there. Jack doesn't just shout for our children, he shouts for all children. It don't matter what colour, what nationality, anything, he'll do it. Because that's just who he is. He's been through abuse, he's been through neglect, he's been through hell, absolute hell in the family court system, and mainly because of these people here. See this? Liverpool City Council. So this isn't nothing new to Jack, all these failings. You know? This is something he's been doing for a long time. Jack's been on top of this call, protesting for children, before he even was a children's rights campaigner, before he ever dreamt of becoming a children's rights campaigner. His backside was on top of this call, up there, protesting. Does the media let you see this? It was all over the radio, all over the newspapers, all over the news. You try and Google it, gone mate, disappeared. Why? Who knows? Who knows? But we do know. We know why they won't show it. Because they don't like it when people stand up and say the truth. Thurrock Council, having their accounts hidden, losing all these children. You put two and two together, mate, it's scary. How people can think it's all flowers and butterflies and rainbows and everything else in the care system. It ain't. It ain't. Children are being fouled left, right and centre. Children are dying left, right and centre. And it's up to us as honest, caring, loving people and parents to stand up and say, no, our children ain't going to take this no more. Our children ain't gonna be your puppets to dance for your sick games and your sick shows whenever you want. It's not happening no more. Why should children go missing? Why do we never get to find out what happens to a child when they're adopted? Where do they go? This rabbit hole's deep, mate, deep. And like Jack says, he didn't just go in the rabbit hole and go, oh, a bit scary in here, I'm coming out. He went down the rabbit hole, he dug it out with his spade, and lit the floodlights and said, what the hell's going on down here? Grabbed the white rabbit by the ears and said, get out here and show everyone what you've been up to. And that's what we all need to do. A revolution begins with one person, but a revolution is accomplished by many, many people together. Many people, not just one man standing outside on his own. That's how it begins. Everything begins somewhere. Guy Fawkes, he did it wrong. He did it wrong. He tried to lay these powder kegs down, and it would have killed many, many people. That's wrong. That's wrong. We don't want to hurt, kill, maim, dismember anybody. We want the change to be put in there and implemented properly. Run by the people who will keep an eye on it. Run by the people who will hold the government to account, will not be scared to stand up and say, do you know what? You're actually doing this wrong and we're not doing it no more. We're not dealing with it no more like this. We're dealing with it properly. You know? Tears of passion and love, your true sister. Cheers. Where you near next here? Won't be too long, put it that way. We've got plans. We've got plans to come back, but go to different places. Listen, there's no good coming to these places on Saturdays and things like that and saying I'm gonna shout from the rooftops, Parliament, you are gonna hear me. They're not there on a Saturday. They're not there on a Sunday. You need to come when they're all going to work, when they're all doing their working day. Hello, my lovely. I'm ranting.
just done a little piece to
independent, free independent press, I think it is.
Free independent press. It's on YouTube, so he's on live on YouTube now. So I've just done a little piece to him. This is about holding the justice system to account. This is about holding the social care to account, local council to account. They can't practice any more service. The whole world's watching. proper hypocrisy, proper molestation process. Do you know what I mean? You can't be putting children at immediate risk. You're going against your own rule of law. Case of improbabilities, future risk of harm. I'm exercising your powers, practicing your laws. You're breaking them and I'm still beating you. I'm sovereign. Let it be. Children's rights.
Hey, that's what the Beatles said.
Let it get up there. You know, because at the end of the day, you can't keep the truth. You know, and you can't. I'll go on again in a minute. And then give them another well. Let's have a look.
Ignore the numbers because you've got nearly 300 shares and they haven't moved. These views haven't moved. I think they're loving it.
Because at the end of the day, if I get a hold to all 7 court cases until they've had pre-service assessments, then it's a well-constructed day for everyone. For everyone.
I can see the appeal and the attraction when you do what you do. Because you get into a rant and it makes you tempted.
What should I touch on now or just reiterate?
You need to go on Thurrock Council. Their accounts are closed. All these children went missing. Ask that blatant question again. You're at the perfect place to ask it.
There's another hat behind them.
So we're getting back on it, people. We are going to be other places. We are going to be doing more. We are going to be going at it still, and we're not going to hold back. Mind your glasses.
What was you saying?
Yeah. Ask you a question.
The accounts,
Yep.
missing kids.
Yep. Are these councils in the UK above the law? Easily manipulated.
Oh, the door's just over there.
They've opened
They've
the
opened
door.
the doors just down there.
Yes, we are going there.
Yeah.
He said it's impossible to enter.
Oh, I'm not sure, to be honest. It might be because there's a protest planned today, so
Ah, okay.
it's
For what?
Children's Rights Awareness Day. Scousemegaphoneman, that's me. Children's Rights Campaigner.
Okay, okay,
We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube.
okay.
To thousands to combat failings of council and hold the justice system to account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the rule of law, their rule of law.
Thank you very much.
That's okay, speak
You're
to you
welcome.
again, have a lovely day.
I am here
whoa.
to exercise my democratic right to freedom of speech. As a children's rights campaigner, I'm here to expose social care and the judiciary, to get the chance to sit down and sort this country out on social care. Why is it that councils up and down this country, widespread systematic failings of children to the point where the children are dying, and the rule of law has taken children on future risk, putting them into the failing councils, going against their own rule of law, future risk of harm, case of improbabilities. Why is it?
On your toes, babe, on your toes.
Why is it that a council with widespread systematic failings of children going against future risk of harm loses over 1,000 children? Thurrock Council out in Essex, over 1,000 children have gone missing from the care system. Thurrock Council go to the civil courts to get secrecy on their accounts. And the question is, why are you getting secrecy on your accounts? At the same time, where have all these children gone?
Yep.
I put the question to Thurrock Borough Council. Are you, as a council, selling people's children?
He went there, people.
Where are all the children gone? Why are you getting secrecy on your accounts? It ain't your money. You work for us. Why is the judiciary allowing councils to carry on breaking the rule of law, molestation of acts and statutes of our parliament, using the human shields known as councillors to pass the book of blame? Absolute outrageous how this country for years and years has been taking a blind eye, taking their eyes off the ball game and putting children at immediate risk into failing councils. The kids that have been taken from loving families I care about in my country are being widespread, systematically failed, to the point children are dying. And I have to spark up serious case reviews for children that have passed for justice. I campaign for the justice of Katie Eden, a girl that was failed by Thurrock Borough Council. Misfeasance.
Mind your back, babe.
Within office, all over Katie Eden's process. Thurrock Council and the leader at the time got a barrister to look over the case. The barrister's report was held for a number of weeks by the Chief Executive of Thurrock Borough Council. When the barrister's report in Katie Eden's passing was passed through a chamber within the council meeting, the dossier was siphoned by more than half. Absolute unbelievable. This is not upholding the rule of law and safeguarding children up and down this country. This practice goes on in all the councils up and down this country. Through the complaints process, you're met with professional avoidance. Professionals on future risk of harm, social care, complaints process. Professionals are refusing and avoiding the investigating officers in these complaints and failings. These are countless counts of misfeasance.
Yes, babe.
Lord Beecham and Lord Foulkes stated in the Lords it's a criminal offence not to report. Why is it that the investigating officer in the Rotherham inquiry for the child grooming gangs, why did that investigating officer allow there on around 27 professionals to not answer questions
Exactly.
in the serious systematic failings of looked after children at Rotherham? This practice is nothing else but criminality.
Yes.
Avoiding investigating officers in serious, widespread, systematic failings in social care. Professional avoidance should be made a criminal offence. When councils take these children into their care, they're failing because their service is not equipped and the staff cannot relate to the kids' problems in the care system. Absolute unbelievable how social care in this country has seen as profit, bonus for the professionals climbing to the top of a professional ladder, sucking lollipop of the establishment. Why, in this country, are there targets to take so many children? Where are the children going from the care system?
Yep.
I've got no isms and I've got no asms. I speak for every child in this multicultural society we have in the UK today. Why is it that Thurrock Borough Council can lose over 1,000 children and it does not raise alarm bells with the media or the rule of law? Why is that? Because it's the local council. Why is it that Thurrock Council seems to be immune from prosecution on the widespread systematic failings of children? The rule of law sides and knows that these councils are serious failings of kids to the point where they're dying. The rule of law knows that these councils more than meet threshold in the family courts themselves, yet the rule of law practice hypocrisy and place children into the care of these councils going against their own rule of law.
Yep.
Future risk of harm, case of a probabilities. As a children's rights campaigner, I'm calling for all halt to all civil court cases in the family courts until local councils up and down this country have been assessed under the assessment unit, Boomerang, to keep all the money within the service, regularly assessing professionals in council to drain the swamp of the bad and build on the good.
Munch back.
Extravagant wages is a gravy train for their friends, playing Monopoly with our lives. It's up to the man and the women in this country to stand up and be counted to combat social care, building on the foundation of the children's protector, the police. Hashtag scousemegaphoneman,
Go, babe.
children's rights campaigner of the UK. It's a crust, and we all live on it. We've got great nations on this planet, mining the earth, drilling the earth, fracking the earth, bombing the earth. When are these great nations going to realise and sensibly control population by sending all the paedophiles and child sex killers off to the NHS labs to cure children's diseases and stop animal testing? Absolute unbelievable how much money this country makes in selling arms to other nations, for women and children to be indiscriminately bombed, hospitals, schools, flattened,
Yep.
because this country selling arms to other countries. Absolute outrageous how we can go into other lands and dictate in the name of terrorism. How many people on this planet have lost their lives in the name of terrorism? Countries are going into other countries willy-nilly in the name of terrorism, indiscriminately bombing innocent people, women, children. When is the human species of this planet going to wake up and realise it's a crust and we all live on it? I've got no isms and I've got no asms. And I, as a children's rights campaigner, speak for every child in the UK and beyond. If we help these nations build back up, we can give the option to people who would like to go back home. Everybody has to put food on the table. Everybody wants to make a better life for themselves, their wives and their children. Embrace humanity in the UK. Respect them, because it's so important that anti-disestablishmentarianism is so important for the protection of religious liberty on this planet.
Yes.
To hold this government to account at the same time that the judiciary on social care will get children's rights inscribed in law, bringing it in parallel line with the United Nations Convention, the rights of a child, and we will all feel the ease in this country. We are not walking wallets to the government. We are ants to our queen. If we build on the children's protector, the police, and combat social care with pre-service assessments in government and council, we will drain the swamp at the bad and build on the good.
Yep.
Men up down this country are sick of being seen as walking wallets to the government. Hashtag scousemegaphoneman, the best children's rights campaigner in the UK. And I'm calling for all civil court cases in the family courts to be put on hold until these councils have had pre-service assessments on service. To start on a clean slate under boomerang, assessment units and contact centres keeping money within service. If we have pre-service assessments on professionals, that's right, extravagant wages at the top of the council.
Yep.
Right? If we have pre-service assessments, here's your 50% wages. If we have a pre-service assessment, we can warrant your extravagant wage. At the minute, serious, widespread, systematic failings on extravagant wages and no accountability, professional avoidance on scrutiny. Children's rights is the reset button, and today the Children's Rights campaigner reaches from the thunder beneath the throne to press the social care reset button in this country, showing the veterans the utmost respect up and down this land, making our old people relax. Hashtag scousemegaphoneman. Government, clear up your act.
Hashtag scousemegaphoneman. Guinea said it, done it. I'm a doer, right? You can't beat a speech straight from the heart, guys. You just can't beat it, right? If you've lived it, you can relate. If you've lived it, it's more important and more professional to live it than it is to go to Eton and get it in a degree. If you've lived it, you're way better than the professionals that learn it. Now, I'm a firm believer, what goes around comes around. I've had the first half of my life bad, and I believe in hyperventuality. We all get that feeling of a deja vu moment. We can't remember we were somewhere else before. This is a planet. I'm going to go on the megaphone and say it.
Hashtag scousemegaphoneman, the children's rights campaigner of the UK. We should all embrace humanity. It's a crust, and we live on it.
You throw me now. Hang on. You throw me now because I was getting into what you were saying.
Why is it that government in this country?
If you've lived it, you can relate.
Why is it that government in this country continue to bury their heads in the sand? I have served all the institutions social services have got. Over the years, I am a failed looked after child. I believe I am the best person in this country on social care. I am better than any politician and any member of law on social care. You can't buy and bottle or box experience. The reason I'm allowed to stand here today is because I stopped a forced adoption case in the civil courts. Therefore, I am not like every other run-of-the-mill family affected by social services. I am not on a gagging order. I believe in the rule of law. I believe in fair process. I believe in well-spent taxpayers' money. I don't believe in molestation process or hypocrisy by the judiciary. I am calling for all civil court cases to be put on hold until pre-service assessment on local government. Hashtag scousemegaphoneman.
I've got a banging headache, guys. Every time I speak now, it's just pumping up like that. I'm shocked on the turnout. I'm shocked that no one's come and spoke to me on a professional capacity, because the severity of what I'm saying, right? You can't say this and be wrong, right? I believe in the truth. I hold on to the truth. I've got the right to pull down my mask as a member of Anonymous. Every mask represents a child. I might not agree with some parts of demonstrating, but at the end of the day, children's rights is children's rights. And I believe in the truth, I believe in fair process, and I believe that this country will actually push that reset button for social care and start bringing that trust gap between the people and Parliament, because at the minute the gap's that big and it's going in the wrong direction, the trust.
Yep.
We need to bring that back. You know, it's our Parliament, it's our council, and it's our money. You know, let's see what happens. It's been said, I'm a doer. You know, they can't just have someone on the street speaking like that and ignore it and bury their heads in the sand. The rule of law is the rule of law. Now, the Americans took their constitution from our British bill, right? So, at the end of the day, people in the States, 36 states in America are each, right? So they're all well aware that Scouse Megaphone Man's on a megaphone today. So everybody's watching around the planet. At the end of the day, the children's revolution, the world revolution, it's children's rights. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Any insight into future plans?
The future plans is to go away, relax a little bit, let that soak into the government and the judiciary. Hopefully, they've got no choice now but to address local council and hypocrisy. The social care is now encroaching on the justice system in terms of civil court actions, and it's not looking good. Social care is making the judiciary look like hypocrites. So I believe in the judges of this country. I'm admired by quite a few judges in this country. So I know this is going to go in the right direction for the better of the future generations of my country. You know, as a patriotic lion, I don't want to sit back and sit there and think, I should have done this and I should have done that. To use my case as a lever bar to better everyone else. It's the kids in the care system I believe in so much. I care for so much like my own children. Reaching out to community children. If the parents up and down this country and the grandparents are the beneficiaries to what I do, so be it. It's about creating that comfortability. See you all soon, guys. I love you to bits.
Well done.